A very warm welcome to everyone on a hot and humid afternoon in Singapore. My name is Clemens Che, and I'm a research fellow at the Middle East Institute within the National University of Singapore. It gives me great pleasure to host today's webinar on the UAE's space sector, discussing its aims, ambitions, and achievements. With us today as the esteemed guest speaker is Mr. Ali Al-Shehi, the Director of the National Space Science and Technology Center, established jointly by the UAE University, the UAE Space Agency, and the Telecommunications Regulatory Authority. I will, of course, share his illustrious profile a little later before his presentation. Please allow me to say a few words about today's webinar, which is the 18th episode in MEI's Bridging the Gulf Public Education Series. The series was conceived with the aim of providing a general audience with insights on the latest developments among the Gulf Arab states, or the GCC for short. Not only is the series aimed at raising the level of public knowledge about the region, it also aims to correct misconceptions. Some of the interesting past sessions that we have had included falconry, the tradition of falconry by the UAE-based Hamdan bin Mohammed Heritage Center, and also an intriguing talk on the technology used at the Hajj, the pilgrimage delivered by the Assistant Minister of Hajj and Umrah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Today's session on the UAE space sector is a product of a collaborative effort between MEI and the UAE Embassy in Singapore, a working relationship which we hope will go from strength to strength. A few words on the UAE space sector. As many would have learned already by now, the UAE is the first Arab nation to undertake inter-planetary exploration since the Hope probe was launched in mid-2020. This is more widely known as the Emirates Mars mission. The country's space agenda does not stop there. Emirati astronaut Sultan Al Neyadi is now a cult figure, not just in the country, but across the region, and he became the first Arab astronaut to go on a long-term mission to the International Space Station earlier this year. More recently, he concluded a historic 7-hour-long spacewalk, and it is against this backdrop that we are very keen to find out more about the UAE's vision for its space sector, and for which we are proud to have Mr. Ali Al-Shehi here with us to share his insights. I would like to now invite Mr. Mohammed Azharuni, the Head of Economic Affairs at the UAE Embassy in Singapore, to deliver the opening remarks. Mohammed, please, all yours.
Thank you, my friend. Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ali Al-Shehi, good afternoon and a warm welcome to this event organized by the Middle East Institute. It gives me great pleasure to share insights on the UAE's remarkable space journey and how we have constantly pushed the boundaries known to mankind. Over the past years, the UAE has made significant strides in space exploration. Our unwavering commitment to innovation and progress led to the establishment of the UAE Space Agency, which has been instrumental in guiding our nation's path in the space area. A pivotal milestone in our journey is the creation of the National Space Fund earlier this year, a substantial 3 billion dirham initiative dedicated to supporting groundbreaking programs and fostering international cooperation in space engineering, sciences, and research applications. Through this fund, we have aimed to build national capabilities, diversify our economy, and assert the UAE's position as a leader in the global space community. Our aspirations reach beyond Earth's orbit, exemplified by the Emirates lunar mission and our mission to Mars, which Dr. Clemens actually just mentioned. With the UAE's Hope probe, we are resolute in expanding human understanding of Mars and its atmosphere, adding to the collective knowledge of the universe. This is one of the many achievements that were made possible by talented scientists, engineers, and partners from all around the globe. Additionally, and through collaborations with our international partners, our astronaut, Mr. Sultan Al Neyadi, embarked on a long-term mission to the International Space Center, the first for any Arab astronaut, and we await his return at the end of this month, inshallah. Today, I extend an open invitation to our friends in Singapore to collaborate with the UAE in our space endeavours. We firmly believe that partnerships hold the key to fostering scientific and technological advancements and driving innovation. Singapore's own achievements in the space sector present valuable opportunities for joint research and knowledge exchange, propelling us to pioneer new frontiers in space exploration together. In closing, I once again extend my gratitude to the Middle East Institute for hosting this event. Let us forge a future together, driven by the spirit of collaboration and exploration. Thank you, and I wish everyone a fruitful engagement ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Al-Zaruni, for the opening remarks, and I'm certain that the solid relationship between our two entities and the two countries will continue. Now, let me turn to an introduction of our guest speaker for today. Mr. Ali Al-Shehi has more than 33 years of experience working in leadership positions in the UAE Air Force. He has a bachelor's degree in aviation science from the Higher College of Technology and a master's degree in management and communications from Sorbonne University, UAE. Mr. Ali has joined the UAE Air Force in 1988 when he started flying as a pilot in the Air Force Academy in Pakistan. And in 1997, he worked in Air Force intelligence and became the Satellite Ground Receiving Station Manager in the year 2000. He has managed many projects inside and outside the country, most notably the Falcon 9 program, which started in 2013 in Toulouse, France. And in addition to that, he led the Space Reconnaissance Center in Abu Dhabi until 2021. Recently, Mr. Ali Al-Shehi, he decided to take a new direction in his career to support the research, development, and education sector in the country, where he joined the UAE University in 2022 as the director of the National Space Science and Technology Center. The academia-industry partnership is a topic that is very near and very dear to Mr. Ali Al-Shehi's heart and indeed career. How will the UAE pave the way for innovative space research? Let us now hear from Mr. Ali Al-Shehi. Over to you.
Presentation. So are you sharing the slide or you want me to share the slides again? You have the control of the screen, right?
Yes.
From your side. Okay, so can you put the slides up, please?
Sharon, please. Thank you.
Can you please share the slides? I think it's easier for you.
Any? Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, Mr. Ali.
Right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa bihi nasta'in. Distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's an honor and pleasure to join all these collaborative efforts, especially and special thanks to the Middle East Institute and National University of Singapore. Special thanks to our colleagues and friends. أخوي محمد مشكورين على الاستضافة وعلى جهودكم هذه to continue the collaboration of space between the UAE and all our partners around the world. The relation between Singapore and the UAE is very remarkable. Today, we are extending this to focus a little bit on the space sector and mainly on the innovative space research and how the academia and the industry today is being a potential to really support where the UAE have already reached in this sector. The UAE is a lead country today in space, and you have covered on the introduction some of those activities. We in the UAE have played a big role globally. The missions we have contributed to is not local missions, but it's a global mission, and this is the UAE active not only in the space but globally. So if you will allow me, I will go through a few slides to share some thoughts with you from the space sector and also the academia, and where I come from is the UAE University. So to introduce the space sector, I think you've done a big part of that. Thank you very much for sharing the contribution of the UAE space sector, but I will focus a little bit today. And if you can see on the slide, we have established a lot of activities. And if you can see on the slide that in 2014, we have created the space agency, but as an activity of space, we have started earlier on that. And you can see on the slide that we have done a lot of missions before the space agency became officially is the governing entity of the space sector in the UAE. And a continuation of that, you will see that the space centers like MBRC and SSTC became available to support these activities. Today, in the UAE, we have a pioneering vision to engage the world. Today, if we look at the space sector globally, no one works alone. It is all based on collaboration and cooperation between entities, between countries. And for that, if you look at the right side of the slide, this triangle I will maintain on the slide where you can see the relation between the different components which really contribute to this innovation and the way forward for any country on the space sector. So you have the government in the top, and then you have the industry and academia. So this triangle you will see on my coming slides also, and will elaborate more in it. We're supported by a wise government who have seen the space sector as an economic potential on the future. Also, the government have seen the space is something we contribute to humankind and to humanity. So, and for example, if you look at the EMM mission today, the UAE have went to Mars, and we've been always asked the question, why Mars? The UAE is not doing this for the UAE, but we are doing it for the world. We are doing this for the humankind, for the humanity, and how this research will contribute to benefit the world globally in the end. From the objectives we have set, and if you can see some of these objectives in the slide here, that we want to contribute to a collaboration model. So these missions we have launched is not for the UAE only, but it is for a global contribution of benefits. And we've supported that by, some of the internal work we have done in the country. And that's relate between the industry, the government, and also the academia. And in the coming slide, I will explain that relation and how we go back and relate to the title of this presentation when we say, or this session specifically about the innovation between the two main components. They play a big role in this sector. So in this slide, we started a journey, and it's a remarkable journey with lots of milestones, like you see here on in the slide. We have successfully launched multiple satellites in orbit today, and each of those satellites contribute to an advancement on communication, Earth observation, scientific research. But at the same time, the UAE in the past decade have dedicated and launched also some additional satellite you see on the lower line there, which is the satellite for education and experimental purpose. For that, you can see that the UAE is not only launched big mission, but also focused on the learning and building capacity for the country, and for the aim and goal that we will one day be contributing as a player in a bigger game, which is we will engage the global space community. And if you see on the top of the slide, we have, let's say, the 11 satellites which we procured fully by buying those satellites. But at the same time, we have learned so many things from those missions. We have built satellites, and those 5 satellites we have developed locally, but also we have tested those satellites and some other entities outside the country. 4 of the satellites we have developed and tested completely in the UAE. And today, where we see that the role of places like NSSDC and MBRSC doing a big role by building the capacity. Capacity is not only building equipment, but building people, engaging students on research, and also engaging the student to be part of building bigger mission in the future. Here, I will focus a little bit and to address the main subject as introduced by Dr. J, that to distinguish between academia and industry, the UAE as a country, if we see from the academia perspective, we have a 30% increase on interdisciplinary research collaborations in the UAE universities over the last decade. Specifically, I will touch on the UAE University. We have 11 centers here on the research. And one of them, a main pillar of those research, are the NSSDC, which is focusing on the space side. The industry, the UAE space sector has grown by 50% on the last five decades. And if we look at the slide, we see percentage of growth comes from a full support of the UAE government to both sectors, academia and also the industry. And I said in the beginning, you will continuously see this triangle here, and you see it now on the left side of the slide, where the government is the main support, is the main directive for us on academia and industry to reach the optimum goal. In the slide, you will see the interrelation of these stakeholders between the academia and the industry, and how the government, for sake like the space agency, also is contributing. And as you introduced, that the initiation of NSSDC was initiated by space agency, but also it was supported by the ICT fund, which come from the CBRA as a government body. Today initiated the center by funding the start of the NSSDC, and the purpose of that is, as I said earlier, is building the capacity of all these talent and innovative people within the colleges and universities of the UAEU and also the other UAE university, reaching an optimum goal to increase this relation with also an outside the country and crossing border to reach a collaboration with universities. Like we have an agreement with your university today, and we are trying to implement that agreement today in a real practice, which we will hope to see some of those projects to touch the reality and to work on real satellite program or exchange program or any scholarship program if we can facilitate by, again, the full support from the government by providing the fund, the engagement between the academia and bridging the gap between the academia and the industry, which I will touch base on the coming slide about that. Of course, research and innovation start with solving challenges, and these challenges we say today for the advancement of technology. And as I mentioned earlier, Mars program was for solving problems not for the UAE but for the world. And these challenges today is really challenged by another component here, which is the global competition. The global competition, if we can see today, the world is not, the few decades back when they were a domination of certain countries only working in space. Today, we have more than 90 countries are in the space race. And the UAE today as a lead country in the region and also globally by contributing to that global competition by being part of global missions like EMM and the other coming projects, which also I will explain in the coming slides. The technology evolution. With this competition, we need to find a way. How do we differentiate ourselves as different institutes, take it from academia and also the industry? So the engagement today we have is not only with certain countries or with certain slice of the community, but this is globally speaking. Today we have this engagement to go to a technology evolution by engaging a collaboration approach between, first of all, inside the country, between our universities and also our stakeholder in the industry in the UAE, governed by the government for certain mission. And their purpose is in the end is a humankind. But we are working today, as I explained earlier on the slide, for example, for the remote sensing, the communication and all that, and for the purpose which, for example, today the UAE is showcasing how the country is being part of the global mission of the sustainability. And the COP28 is an event which is, we are very proudly, happy about hosting this. And us, the space sector, will be showcasing these activities we have from the internal entities and also our engagement with global programs. By fostering the culture of innovation, the UAE ensures remains driven force in the space research and exploration. In the slide here, you will see there is a huge program which the UAE contributed to the world, which is the EMM, the Emirates Mars Mission, which is the world is still benefiting out of that program. All the researchers globally around the world get the data from that probe, which is today, we in the UAE very proud to have it, in that planet and looking at a result which will benefit the humankind in the end. For some of you who knows that the Mars or the EMM mission was also a collaboration between the UAE and the US specifically, and some universities in Colorado. So this is where we see the academia, the industry, again, getting together for a global mission to benefit, the world. And from there, we are transiting now to a bigger mission, and that is the asteroid belt, which is the MBR Explorer. The UAE, we are putting ourselves in a leader position. We want to lead in this innovative space research. For that, I think we are harnessing, the different components in the country with a very good tie-up with international collaboration with universities, with the industry, and also with other governments. So there is a lot of agreements today between the UAE and other countries as an umbrella, but it flies down to research institutes working together to be part of this huge, big mission the country have invested financially in it. But also we have taken a lot of lessons learned from the EMM mission. And now in the country, we are working in a better position to allow the maximum use and the maximum utilization of these kind of missions to build the space sector in the UAE, and also to build the capacity of the UAE talent to also be part of this program, and also to be advancing on the research component of it. Today, when we started EMM, if we look at the number of students or the number of engineers was part of that program, and today, how many universities are today? We have extended to all the universities and space research institute in the UAE to be part of the asteroid belt. In the space agency, we have taken lots of other steps to prepare and to be ready for this mission from 6 years from now. I think this showcase that the UAE will continue to be on the innovation of space research, We are not only considering, let's say, an operational mission satellite like for remote sensing and communication and GNSS and positioning, but also in the planetary side, where the UAE universities have equipped themselves with the best faculty from around the world. We are focusing in programs with other countries, but also we are focusing on Emiratization. And we need an Emirati engineers also to be, part of this research. And you did mention in your introduction, Dr. Che and Mr. Mohammed, about Sultan Al Neyadi today in a journey. He is inshallah coming back in a month or less than a month back to Earth. Very few people know that Sultan and Hazza and the astronaut of the UAE have spent years of hard work to get where they are today. I wish Sultan and his colleagues the best of luck. I really thank them for their dedication and how much efforts these astronauts have put of many years being away from their family and also working in a collaboration with other entities and other countries. And today, again, the UAE is presenting ourselves as a very collaborative approach for innovation and research. The country invested around 1.5% of GDP in R&D. We have an R&D council. And Mohammed mentioned that there is 3 billion have been allocated only for space. And this is where this money is really utilized for the same purpose I mentioned, which is the humankind. The slide here shows that we have, yes, that financial investment, but at the same time, we have dedicated funded project for a space research project. In the slide, it says 10 million. I assure you it's small, but this is what is officially announced. I know that all these centers you see in the slide, MBRC, Khalifa University, SAS, New York University, NSSTC, and other institutes, they have spent a lot of money on investing on people, not only investing in equipment, but that is where we are dedicating ourselves. We have scholarship programs in each of these entities. And those scholarship programs are supported today by government and also supported by the industry. And here's where we are bridging this gap between the industry and how the industry can bring back to academia and how industry can take from academia that capacity of engineers and expertise, to help them achieve their current mission and also prepare them for future missions. We've crossed border by supporting international entities. We have relations with colleges, universities across the world. And we want to be part of a global mission. For example, the universities I mentioned on the EM mission, there was a huge contribution. There was an exchange program where we had engineers from the UAE spent around 5-6 years in the US, starting from a bachelor degree, doing a master degree, and being part of EMM. This journey continued. And today we have better focus and better also the diversity you see of the universities here as taking role in a better focus, dedicated approach to utilize that fund or that financial support given by the government to lead the sector. And it is governed by the space agency, which we see them today playing a big role by supporting these centers, by giving them programs, but at the same time, they are facilitating for them a relationship with the world. And today, the engagement of the country today internationally, allowing us on the space sector to benefit from that relation, which is the UAE, a friend of all. UAE is part of the innovation, technology, development, research, and we trying to continue and learn and put ourselves in a better position on the leading position on the around the world. Now here, coming back to the triangles I mentioned, you see it again on the left, and now I've inserted the NSSTC logo here. And this is here where I would like to emphasize more how we are trying, or how we are playing the role to bridge the gap. So bridging the gap between the industry and academia, that started from inside the house, from the NSSTC being inside the fence of the UAE University, working with the different colleges. Today, space has a diversity of specialty. So we have the computer science, we have the physics, we have the all the engineering, you know, take it from the electronics, and also the mechanical engineers. So we at the NSSTC today playing a big role inside the university, harnessing ourselves to deal with the stakeholder, and then we create the link with the industry. I will explain later on a coming slide how the NSSTC facilitates their assets to bridge that gap. But I want to emphasize that before we engage globally, and we have done globally, we didn't wait for implementing this, but we already engaged, as I said, on missions. We understood where the area we need to fix, and now we're coming back, we are rectifying the way how the UAE University will help NSSTC, and how NSSTC will go and get all those talented engineers with their ideas and innovation, and to bring them to reality. And while they are here at the NSSTC, now the NSSTC is facilitating for those students to be part of the industry by doing their missions, and at the same time preparing them not only to launch a satellite, but also to launch, you know, a capacity of people who can support those missions and work in the future missions. We do lots of activities within the NSSTC by again, if you go back to the triangle, we get the fund from the government, so that the government on the top funding scholarship programs, funding programs as satellite programs, research programs. We also support in programs which we work in a collaboration internationally. So any agreement we have, let's say by the government in international level, and then it comes back lower to the space agency and the university. So we make use out of those umbrellas and get scholarship programs, exchange programs, and work on some satellite program and research program, which is I will elaborate more in the coming slide. We also involving students by finding them the opportunities. Today, the student being a graduate or coming to do an interim program in the end of their study, I think we have found that is a bit not the right way to do it. So now we are rethinking how to engage students from the first year when they come to the university and hook them up with the center on certain programs which will facilitate for those students, and then you can pick out of 10, maybe you'll get 2 for this program and 2 for other program, and identify the right talent for the right opportunity for them. They might not continue at NSSTC, but they will be transferred to academia back to teach. Maybe they will go to the government and work with the space agency or other entities, and they can also transfer to the industry, as I said, and have the opportunity by, rather than queuing for a job, these people will already mix with the industry within the center here, which is I will explain on the coming slide how we are doing that. NSCC, we are driven by the country vision, and for for that we have created standard operating procedure. This standard operating procedure comes from what you see in the slide here. There is a big increase, which is around 20% on the R&D, as Mohammed was mentioning earlier. That fund came from the R&D council. And we see that within the government today, the space agency, the academia, and the R&D council are working together on a diversity of technology. But space has taken a big slice on that because of the dedication we see. And also, we are doing the market validation. How do we validate that? We validate that by working with the industry and working with the international partners. So this partnership gives us the opportunity to go for the end goal of the government, taking the space as part of the GDP and bringing as an ROI in the end economically to the country. So we also looked at how can we, the space sector, contribute to the country economy. At the same time, the NSSTC, how can we commercialize some of those components, okay, and have that participate. So that's standard operating procedure today, again, working to really look at us working with the UAE and inside defense, us working with the UAE University, as I showed on the previous slide. Also, the partnership we have. Today, I can name some of the programs. We have an education programs, which we have an international collaboration. We have a program called the AINSAT, and this AINSAT is actually led and managed by NSSTC team, working with 3 universities from Spain, Indonesia, and Japan. And this program, we're hoping that it will be launched, inshallah, by end of 24. But this is where we look at the diversity and we differentiate between education and also other bigger missions. At the same time, we are working on other programs on the planetary side. As I said, we are part of the asteroid belt. We are working on a program with other countries and a program called Cool Earth, which is supporting also the country mission being by COP28 and being part of the sustainability, to contribute to the United Nations, missions and being part of the global mission. NSSTC as an entity, you have mentioned that we started in launching this center in 2016. We have some assets, but these assets goes back again to the umbrella. And the umbrella comes from the country, the space agency, the university, and now the center is actually working with all the universities in the UAE and the space sector. So we have dedicated the last 1 year for a better engagement with other universities. We are facilitating for those centers some capabilities which is only available at NSSTC. For example, you have the space lab and all the AIT facility. The AIT facility we have is one of a kind in the region. We can integrate and test satellite up to 350 kg satellite. And this is the class where the world is actually the trend of the innovation and technology is going to. All those big missions are not there anymore. The world is focusing, getting smaller on size, but more sophisticated, more software built, more focused on how these satellites will do better in missions, not with size, but with innovation and technology and research. We have the ground station, which is, we are aiming to have a universal ground station. universal ground station mean it will not only support our satellites at NSSTC, not only the UAE satellites for the country, but we are looking for a global engagement for this ground station, so we can support all the friends and colleagues and institutes we work with them globally to utilize and put the ground station on the global network for downlinking, for uplinking, and also for contributing to make that operation of satellite better every day. The last component is actually the startup hub. NSSTC is focusing today to take ideas and incubate them and accelerate them. NSSTC as an institute alone cannot do that, but with our collaboration inside the country and also globally, we think we can do that. So the ideas for any program or any project or any innovation, it should not only come from the student of the UAEU, but this can come from any university around the world. So we have opened the door for ideas, and we are bringing funds and we are bringing support to incubate this and facilitating for them an environment where they can do their work. At the same time, today we have a very aggressive work we are doing with the space agency to focus on the acceleration part of that. So when we bring these ideas, we incubate them, but we link them with the industry locally and globally. So this is, I cannot give a lot of details about it today because it's on the go, but we are focusing on startups, SMEs, and this work is happening under the umbrella of the space agency specifically, but also we are linking this bigger mission with the other incubation programs within the country. All of the above, it's under the umbrella again of the government, the space agency, and it's governed by that optimum goal, where UAE is a lead in space. The days where we buy equipments and we buy satellites, I think we're done with that. Today, we are building in-house. Inside the NSSTC, we are building software, we are building hardware, we are integrating and testing, and also working with our partners around the world to become better and also to contribute to the global mission. Future, all of us have vision, but I remember before joining the NSSTC, I had a very interesting dialogue with Her Excellency Sultan Al Neyadi, the chairman of the space agency and also the Minister of Technology. And I really see Her Excellency vision and how we take not only a gradual growth, but a sharp growth. And this sharp growth actually focusing in two areas. SMEs, but SMEs like subject matter experts, and also small and medium enterprises. I have, since I've joined the NSSTC the last 1 year, I monitored Her Excellency and the way she's encouraging us how to bring this to reality, and how we in the NSSTC and the other centers can create those companies and startups, and as I said, taking them from idea to incubation and also the acceleration. So we have a full support from the space agency, and this takes us to the next slide. And we already started this venture, let's say, or creation of companies. Last week, I was surprised. My guys at the AIT said, Ali, we have a startup company. They are doing testing, and this testing is not for them, but this is for this and this. And we have a visitor coming tomorrow from India to come and see how we have supported that. We stopped working on under MOUs and writing, paper and showing slides and things. We're doing real work. I'll give an example. One day we met with our colleagues from Bahrain Space Agency in Dubai and Space Ops Conference on Thursday. On Friday, they were here in Al Ain. And the week after, the team came back and they started working on something without MOU, without signing any paperwork. Because we consider the real work is to put hands on and to engage on activities rather than signing all these documents and not implementing on the floor. We have already worked on certain projects, as I mentioned, INSAT, with the different universities. With the planetary, we work with the Technion from Israel and Cool Earth. We've engaged the industry, big names like Thales, was part of this. All other space agencies like in Israel and France, and we are joining force to showcase this work. Will be showed at COP28 in November. We have a program called Satellite 813. This is a space agency funded program, and this is to help the Arab group countries, which is also initiated and created by the UAE in 2019. We've kicked in this program. We are hoping to launch end of 24 a scientific mission with different payload, with different edge computing, innovative approach to build the capacity. One thing I can disclose here, we have a fresh grad team who graduated from the university in the UAE, and now they are part of 813 satellite, and they are doing great. I am really excited to see, the girls and boys really getting into this innovation era of space. And we are trying to help those kind of people to really reach where they want to reach as their government wants them to go. To conclude, I'm sorry, Dr. Che, if I've taken more time on this, but I will conclude in a minute. Taking advantage of the country big investment. We have invested. The country is our country. We are very proud and we are very excited to see how our governments guide us and direct us to be as innovative as we can, to be as competitive as we can. And we take the ride to be really a leading country on space, innovation, collaboration, to reach that global vision of the country, that after some time the space will bring things back to the country economy. I hope I covered what you wanted me to cover, but I thank you very much again for our embassy in Singapore, the Singapore embassy in the UAE, for your support, and I'm ready to take your questions.
Mr. Ali Al-Shehi, thank you very much. Please accept my sincere thanks for that wonderful presentation that touched on the internationalization of your space sector, breaking new ground, and also the Emiratization segment or component of the space program. And it's very heartwarming to hear that there's a fresh grad team on the 813 project. I think it's always good to have young minds on these sectors. We have now come to the Q&A segment of the webinar. So we would like it to be very interactive, and we'd like to receive questions from our audience, and you can type your questions in the chat box, in the Zoom chat box, and we can address them accordingly. Please allow me as a moderator to exercise my privilege to ask a couple of questions to Mr. Ali before we start the ball rolling from the ground. I have two questions. And that comes from one on the EMM, the Emirates Mars mission. I was wondering, what are the key findings? And of course, some of the media reporting covered the two moons of Mars, Deimos and Phobos. But what are the other groundbreaking or insights that have been born out of this mission? And number two, you talked about how there's a lot of excitement about the UAE's vision on space sector, on the space sector. How far do you think this space culture can go? Because that is part of the strategy of the UAE as well, the space strategy of the UAE. So I have these two questions for you before we move ahead with the questions from the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. I will take the second question first. And a very touchy point always, for someone who's been in space for more than 25 years, and also who came to this without space law, without space agency, and who realized that we have really came in a very rapid speed to be an international contributor to the space sector. Always question I hear, before even Mars, when we announced the EMM program, why the UAE is being part of something like going to Mars? Well, this was mission for countries like the US, Russia, Japan, India. And as I said, today there is a huge race, by 90 countries are trying to be part of this. So for EMM, I think to answer why EMM, first, space culture, as you said. We in the UAE are a 50 years old country. We developed this country from scratch. And we have also came along on academia. And our universities today have developed very rapidly on that. So if I go back to my era when I graduated high school, okay, and I was thinking, oh, what to do at that time after I graduated school. There was very little, small choices that you take. But today, when we have kids, like my nephews come to me, 9 years old, and say, I want to be an astronaut. And this is where I think the government, and I will also tell a short story to answer this question. I was there when we signed the agreement between the Space Agency and NBRC, for the AMM mission. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid came in and said, I've been asked the question, why Mars? And then he turned around to all the engineers from NBRC and said, we are challenging you in a mission because the UAE, we don't do easy mission. We do very challenging mission. We want you to go to Mars. And this challenge is for you guys to compete and be, on the global competition, which is we find ourselves today competing, but we competed harshly, and we have been put in a very challenging mission, which is EMM, not only because we have launched satellite, as I said. Now, EMM contribute to the world, to the humankind. All the research paper we do at the UAE University for EMM, we have a group of scientists. We send them out to speak the result. And we share these results with the world. And we have gave access to the world to access. We didn't take the data of EMM for us. The data, and that is where we see the country of contributing globally, internationally for the humankind and to participate on all the world challenges and problems which I mentioned on the slide. So this data became available for the world, and whatever research collaboration we do with other universities and with other researchers, we make available to the public, and we share it with the right people, the right institute, to benefit out of this investment, which the mission is continue today to bring data back and help researchers to continue their research, and also to support us to build the capacity of engineers and researchers, for our future missions. I hope I answered the questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. I think we'll proceed to the questions that are coming in. They are rolling in fact. We have a question from Jean-Louis Saman, who is a senior researcher. And his question is, space exploration relies heavily on international cooperation, as you said in your presentation. So please, could you tell us more about the international partnerships, especially from within the region, such as partners such as Saudi Arabia and Israel, which I think you covered in one slide, but you would like to know some examples of investments in this sector.
I will try to generalize the answer first, and if there is something specifically needed, I will answer that. As I said, today the space sector works under different umbrellas. Okay, so we have Ministry of Education, all the universities, space agency collaboration between agencies. We are part of lots of agreements globally. So we are driven from there, from like the international relation. Secondly, as I mentioned, and I will take an example of satellite 813, there is 14 Arab countries today is part of that. And we didn't only give them the satellite to build and to launch, but also we've engaged them from the beginning to be part of what we call Arab Pioneers Program, which is a scholarship provided by the UAE to the Arab countries. So they are today under the scholarship program within the different universities, and specifically UAEU for that purpose. Now, the bigger mission, which is the planetary, if we focus on that, the EMM, as I explained earlier, we continue to give the data to researchers to utilize it. And also, we are taking all the learning from that, and we're sharing it with the partners we work with globally. And that learning have been taken now to the asteroid belt, where we have taken different approach from how we have done EMM earlier, and now EMM was done by MBRC. Asteroid belt is today direct space agency with diversity of support from academia and industry and global partners. So the mechanism of implementing is changed. Before it was oriented in one center. Now space agency looked at it as the asteroid belt, the MBR Explorer is a huge mission, and it will take many years. So we wanted better collaboration, better participation. So we are engaging all the sector in the UAE, not only by being part of the development of the satellite and the probe and all that, but also on the academia to prepare for a better research result when that data come back from there. So the preparation is happening to all those centers in the UAE and internationally. Now, specifically, you mentioned Saudi Arabia. As I told you, Saudi Arabia is part of the Arab group. We work closely on some programs with them. Today, the relationship between the two agencies, space agencies, is very well established. I mentioned Bahrain. Today, we started work here at NSSTC, and I know they have worked earlier with MBRC. There is a collaboration. We are at NSSTC ready to sign 3 agreements with India in academia and also in the industry as a startup. We have signed during the space debate in December an agreement with industry and academia in Israel. We signed with Technion as a research institute. We signed with ISI as an industry partner, which is today they are part of one of the companies who can work for also being part of any activities we do at NSSTC.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. We have one more question from the floor on how it's related to climate change and defense, how the space sector supports climate change, with the UAE being the host of COP28, and also the defense sector based on your professional experience with the Falcon Eye program especially.
Okay. I'll start with the climate change, and I try to escape, but I don't know if I can escape the Falcon Eye program, but I will do my best. Climate change, as I said, today we're harnessing as a country for COP28. We are showcasing how the country, from a technology perspective, from innovation perspective, are doing part. So, and I will go down now to the engagement of NSSTC on that. We're trying to showcase 3 big programs. One is the 813, which is, as I said, it's an international collaboration, and that is a very specific scientific mission for sustainability and a lot of other scientific research. And I remember when we put, you know, the RFP out for partners to collaborate on that, we didn't specify what kind of satellite or what kind of specification. We kept it very open, and we say, this is the scientific objectives we need to go, and we need to partner with somebody who can bring the innovation and the technology to support the sustainability and the United Nations, missions. So that's one. The second one is the Cool Earth program, which is where we are working with Technion today as NSSTC to do a mission to reduce temperature. And this is a POC, proof of concept, which is going to be a remarkable project. I will not be able to disclose any more information because I'm still under, that till COP28, we are still harnessing, we are getting more partners to be part of that. But this is a huge mission. But we will start with a POC, and we will start from academia, students from Israel, students from the UAE, governed by space agencies and other organizations to support that. The last mission we are doing from the United Arab Emirates University, from the planetary, or sorry, the remote sensing or the Earth observation unit we have at the center, working with the other centers within the university. And we have extended that far by working with, the GIFC, which is the Geospatial National Center in the UAE. We are working with, collaborating internationally for a water discovery in Africa. This is, again, under some of the goals of the United Nations. And we think during COP28, we will also consolidate a better engagement with our colleagues and with our partner to partner better for the humankind. Water is needed in that part of the world. We have done some research on Middle East, but now we are extending, we are going far, we are going to Africa, where Africa is not our, let's say, continent, but we are, again, global. We in the UAE work globally. We participate to the humankind objective, which is set by our government to participate to ease of life for human, and also be, very protective in utilizing the technology and innovation to reach a help for people on the ground.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. We have another question on the commercial aspects of the space sector, because this is integral part of the space strategy. And the question is about space tourism and space manufacturing. How far has the UAE come in terms of this commercial aspect?
I will skip, if you'll allow me, the space tourism. I think this is something still being discussed at the space agency and also other international partner. I know something, but I really don't want to go into that. I will answer the question of manufacturing. And this is what I know, this is what I witness every day. Our colleagues at MBRC, Ahmed bin Rashid Space Center, they have taken the lead on that by doing Khalifa Sat in the UAE. Now they are doing MBZ. MBZ is a huge satellite. It's more than, I think, 600 kg satellite. We here in the UAE today contributing to MBZ by manufacturing, not within also the Space Research Center, but other industrial, by building components of that. And then MBZ today come in and out to the NSSTC for some of the testing facility here we are doing. I think it is a mandate It's not anymore a choice or an option, that we need to start manufacturing. We need to start doing things here. This is by a direction from the government. And also, as I said, the space agency is taking that and facilitating for us the way, how can we engage the other industry and the country also to contribute with the space sector to build better. Again, I said, we inside the NSSCC build our own software, and we build some components today. I can't tell you that we can build a complete satellite. I don't know actually if we need to build a complete satellite, because if there is something built somewhere by partner anywhere in the world, why not utilize it? But we already started manufacturing this thing. I did mention in my slide that there's 4 programs which we built completely in the UAE and launched, and we are continuing to expand in that area. We negotiated with some partners that especially on the edge computing side, that we are preparing a group of engineers to go into computer science side, and also to be part of edge computing and to do something on board satellites. So that is also on the go, and we are hoping also to include that part of 813 to be an edge computing, and there will be a lot of SATCOM and a lot of other technology embedded within the program, within the funded price for that, and also with the allowance of time. Because sometimes, even if you want to innovate and build something here, and the time frame, which is sometimes is tied up with other partners globally, it doesn't allow that. But we are taking it very seriously from the perspective of engaging the country. I remember we have a KPI, and I'll be very open to speak about that. KPI within the 813 program, the space agency told us, you have to do everything within the NSSTC, and next you can go with this much percentage in the country, and the last minute will give you only this percent to do outside the UAE. So we are following that, and that is the directive. That is not a choice we have. I'm sorry, I think I missed your question about Falcon Eye. Okay, I was the program manager for Falcon Eye. Falcon Eye was the Ministry of Defense program, which is today. Falcon Eye is not, by the way, a pure military program. It's a dual use. It is with our colleagues and friends, partners from France. We have built a very capable system to also do the use for the Ministry of Defense, but at the same time, there was a big portion of commercialization, which is, I think, question was also about commercialization and how can we commercialize that. So the data of Falcon Eye, I think our colleagues at the Ministry of Defense are working with the other agencies within the UAE to commercialize the Falcon Eye data. We have taken steps to commercialize 813 data, if possible. We have taken a step to commercialize the ground station for a purpose of utilizing it, at least for running costs, not making profit. NSSTC is not a profit making, but I think exercising entrepreneurship and venture or startup will need that business mindset. So you've talked to Nuha. Nuha is our lead on the business development, and she joined recently. We also harnessed other agencies from the space agency side and from the other academia side to have a business mindset to see how much that commercialization component will actually teach people how to be a business-oriented startup within the space sector. So the purpose is not only to bring $ back to the NSSCC and to the economy of the UAE, because the way we see it, the ROI is more than the $. Okay, building capacity, doing things here, reduce costs. Also, the learning curve of people understanding how business is done in this world and the community of space. I think this is where we try to educate our talent and our students, our engineers, to have that business mindset where they can grow and also partner with their colleagues and their brothers and sisters around the world.
Thank you, Ms. Ali. I think we will take one final question to wrap up the Q&A segment. And this question is on global competition, which you said earlier that there are more than 90 countries in the space race. So what are the challenges to come, and how will the UAE face these challenges?
I think, let me be honest, I think in the UAE we have less challenges because we are the UAE. Okay, we are the friend of all. Okay, we are the partner of all, and we don't have specific, like political issues. I think the challenges we have in the UAE is just a little bit on the IP, the transfer of knowledge, the transfer of technology, which is today is not limiting us, but maybe it will slow us a little bit on certain areas. But mainly today, the UAE, as I told you, and you from Singapore, you know that how much the UAE government are putting a lot of efforts on being the friend of all and being innovative, being on the lead, being part of a global. We are present everywhere. You can look at the activities, space activities. You will see our ministers, our directors, our leadership. If you focus a little bit inside here, you will see all the activities are attended by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, Allah Yahfadh, President of the country, and the Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. For all the activities, you will see them. If you have the number one, number two, leaders available with you, supporting you, I think no challenges for us. The challenges we have to overcome, the challenges we have to be more focused. The challenges is that how we dedicate ourselves on the space sector, not to listen to the talking, but to focus on doing, and to focus, as I said earlier, not signing the agreement, but on practically implementing things. We had, I think, I remember one meeting here in Abu Dhabi, and we have signed a letter of intent. And I have Engineer Mohammed Al-Karbi from the NSSTC. So in 1 week, Mohammed flown to Hong Kong, to China, and he was really going to implement that letter of intent. I gave you the example of the Bahrainis when we brought that. We signed the agreement with the Israelis in the space debate in December. Right away after that, within 2 months, we started working on projects. So this is how we are supported, and that's how we are overcoming the challenges. But I think the UAE is well established, well funded, well supported, well engaged in a global perspective. Today, if you see, we have our students in China, in Singapore, in US, Europe, everywhere. And we have students from around the world within our universities. I think this engagement is really going to overcome, because if you want innovation, you will not be sitting here waiting for somebody to release an IP for you or something, because you can attract talent rather than attracting a technology transfer. So the technology, inshallah, we are hoping it will become better by the Emiratis, and also by the work we do with our brothers and sisters like yourself and all other friends, around the globe.
Thank you, Mr. Ali Al-Shehi. Mashkur. You have been really, really generous with your time for the presentation, for the Q&A segment, and also for sharing the stories. I would like now, for the closing, to invite our Executive Director at the Middle East Institute, Ms. Michelle Teo, to deliver the closing remarks.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. Mr. Al-Shehi, I want to thank you for what has been a very enlightening and actually for me rather an exciting session today to listen to. I was very fascinated. I would say a few things about this. What really struck me was what the Emirates, the United Arab Emirates is doing in terms of ensuring its future. And I think this is something that has a lot of traction for us in Singapore. You know, a few years ago, there were all these fancy words, future-proofing, making yourself future-ready. It is really about playing a long game and understanding that in order to take ourselves into the end of this century and beyond, it is a constant evolving process. It's always about improving yourself, about thinking outside of the box, about being brave and adventurous in terms of the industries or the sectors that you choose to immerse yourself in. So, you know, I mean, although there are a lot of people who ask, you know, why would the UAE be in the exploratory mission to Mars? My answer is, why not? You know, why not? Because there's so much technology and so much learning to be had out there. And, you know, as you've talked about the young people, you know, who are part of your team now, and the fact that you are part of the university, these things are so important to me, because when you look ahead to the future, it is really the young people who are going to take us into the next realms of, you know, economic, scientific innovation, success. And, you know, so today's session to me was actually really an interesting one, but also a very important testament to the far-seeing vision of your leadership, and also of the teams that they have who work with them, you know, to make these visions a reality. So, you know, let me once again thank you on behalf of the Middle East Institute. You know,
You're welcome.
Everyone who attended today really enjoyed it. I'm sorry we couldn't meet you in person. You know, it has to be virtual, but maybe we will get a chance, you know, to meet you in person at some point. So once again, I thank you very much for your time. I want to thank you as well for helping us. You know, I recognize that, you know, people have tight schedules, and you know, doing what you do, you'll be super busy all the time. So taking time to come and talk to us and to, you know, to enlighten us, I mean, I found it personally very interesting. So, you know, really, I thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. It's an honor and a pleasure. And as I said, for me, space being a journey of engagement. And the more we engage, the more we talk, the more we meet, the more we collaborate, I think we will go far.
Absolutely.
Space is not limited to anyone. Space is open. You know, we've gone far. I think we can go more far with you, with you know, a collaboration. And again, I would like to thank you actually for giving me the chance, you know, to be in your program, in your agenda. And I've enjoyed the talk, I've enjoyed the discussion, I've enjoyed the question, and I'm available. Also, I want to extend an invitation to you, all your team, the university. Please visit us anytime. Just give us 2 days heads up, and we'll be happy to have you here at NSSTC. And I will make sure also we will come and visit you, and we will make this engagement better and better.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you. We have come to the end of today's webinar. I thank the speaker, esteemed speaker, Mr. Ali Al-Shahi, and of course, Mr. Muhammad Al-Zawahiri. Thank you very much. Ma salama.